start with Jenkins. The ACL's intact according to shots. Any further than that?
Nah, look, at this stage it's a hyperextension, which they've sort of tested the ACL and they're confident that that's intact, which is real positive news for Josh. But we've got to get it scanned and find out what it looks like. But he's a bit sore and ginger at the moment, so don't know. It's too early to tell as to what level of damage that is and whether he misses weeks or not. So, but at this stage, positive news is it looks like his ACL's fine.
Pretty cruel blow, given that he's just obviously come back in the side, hitting top form, 4 goals.
Yeah, so fingers crossed for him. Obviously, everyone fears the worst when those things happen, and but you're right. Tonight he was influential in the game. He had 7 shots at goal, and he was probably the dominant forward on the ground. And so, fingers crossed, it's not too bad, and we can get him back out there as soon as possible.
Lost a few others too.
Yeah, we were down to 1 on the bench in the end. We had Talia sort of did a bit of a. Well, looks like he's got a sort of a strain of the quad, so we have to assess how that is. And then Jake Kelly in the last quarter with some tightness in his calf, so whether that's a cork or a strain, I don't know at this stage. We'll have to get that checked out. So, and obviously Lockie Murphy, we ended up with him early in the game with his teeth, so he got his teeth sort of pushed back in and had to go off and have those repaired. So he was out of the game pretty early. So that and a 5-day break, it was it was a bit going on down there on the bench, and the guys' credit, they kept coming when the game was tight in the last quarter, and we got the job done.
How do you cope with only 1 on the bench?
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and we tried to do a bit more in terms of our on-ground rotation. So some of our midfielders had to push forward. You would have seen that in the last quarter, just so we could keep them out there because there wasn't the options on the bench. So, but the guys adapted really well. I was really proud of the way they were able to just, sense the moment. And again, I thought our leaders and our better players stood up in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Again, in fairness to Richmond, they had quite a few out, and they were very brave. And I thought, really took it up to us for the whole night.
The clearances and contested possession numbers were in your favour heavily. It was just that you needed to get the score on the board. You're just missing a lot of shots in that first half. Just kept leaving them in the game.
Yeah, well, we had plenty, as you say, we had plenty of opportunity. I think we had over 30, inside 50s in the first half, and we probably just fell in the trap of just, getting it in there deep and long, and we weren't really, taking advantage of that, and they were able to score a couple of times on the transition off the back of a bit of that. So we weren't getting real bang for our buck, I felt, at half time, and that's again credit to Richmond how they sort of set the game up and were playing. But the good thing is our guys didn't really get frustrated. They stayed pretty patient, pretty composed, and just thought in the second half we were able to take some of those opportunities better, which allowed us to hit the scoreboard, as well as some of our finishing. I mean, we missed some pretty straightforward shots at goal that we should normally kick, which would put some scoreboard pressure on. But we're able to do that in the second half.
And Eddie, a nice one at the end from the scoreboard?
Yeah, he seems to like a last quarter sort of just goal from the pocket, doesn't he, Eddie? But that's what Eddie can do. He's got that magic about him.
That's 3 weeks in a row you've finished with a flourish, I guess. Is it glass half full or glass empty that you're in that position and you need that finish, and B, what's that do for the belief of the group that you can close out?
Yeah, well, it certainly doesn't help the belief. I mean, we would have liked a better start than we had tonight. It's always probably one of the things unknown driving here tonight was going to be how we would respond from an energy level on a 5-day break. I thought actually the longer the game went, the better we looked, to be honest, and it's hard to get a read on. And the players would report a bit of that afterwards, feeling a bit getting going. And we tried to obviously manage around that, which we'll have a look at for next time on a 5-day, which we don't have again this year. So I think it probably just more shows the resilience of the group and the want in the games up for grabs. Our guys in the last couple of weeks certainly have found another gear, and even against Melbourne, I think in Darwin when we're down by 30 odd points, we just sort of kept coming and managed to get a win, and that's sometimes that's what you've got to do. So proud of the group, proud of the way they've responded, and now we set ourselves up for the last half of the year.
Spoke about Jenkins, but Taylor Walker tonight was very good as well, Don.
Yeah.
In the last couple of weeks, he's really started producing really strong performances.
Yeah, he has, and look, we've always known that's in there with Taylor. It's often he's come under a fair bit of scrutiny and a fair bit of opinion around how he's playing. But I know with Taylor that when he's moving and when he's jumping at the ball and when he's able to get himself in the kicker's vision, that he'll go to work and he'll do what he does, and he's been able to do that last couple of weeks. And again, I thought from the very start tonight he was presenting well, he was jumping at the ball, and that just makes him hard to play against. And it's great to see him in that space. And now we've got to keep building on that for the next half of the year.
It seemed early on, when you sort of go inside 50, I know Murphy left early, but I think Murphy was sort of the target once or twice. Eddie, It seemed you were kicking to the smaller targets. Is it
Yeah.
just a matter of getting the key forwards to stay back, or for the midfielders to wait for them to time their runs back?
Yeah, we'll have a look a bit of that. I mean, I think you're fair to say we weren't overly happy with our execution forward to centre in the first half. And as I said, some of that's due to density. There's a lot of balls which were repeats, so they were going in and then we were winning them back and sending them back in. So there's a lot of numbers back there. But certainly that's something we're going to keep working on. It's been a work in progress for us, is our connection forward centre and then inside 50. So if we can get more bang for our buck there, it'll certainly help us hit the scoreboard better.
You're fourth on the ladder now. You're 8 and 5 after 13 games. You would have taken this after the first 4 games after you lost to North Melbourne. You went 1 and 3.
Yeah, well, certainly we had a poor start to the year and we were first to put our hand up and recognise that. And at that point, we had some things we needed to change in our game. And to the players' credit and the coaches' credit, we've been able to go away and as a group go, what is it we want to be about and what's going to help create winning for us. And players have bought in there and they've been able to turn the performance around. So we sit here now at 8 and 5 at the halfway point, or just past the halfway point, going, okay, we're now back in the hunt, and we believe and feel we're capable of obviously being one of the teams that can be right up there. But the reality is we've got to keep winning. So we get a break, we get a week off, and then we hit Geelong in 15 days' time. So the challenges keep coming, and that's the beauty of this game. That's the beauty of sport at this level, is that you don't take anything for granted. You've got to work for everything. And even tonight, as I said, against an undermanned Richmond who came and kept coming and was super brave and I thought put on a great performance, we had to find a way, and that's going to be exactly the same in 2 weeks' time.
What are some of those things you've changed in your game after the first 4 weeks?
It's probably more what we focused on. We focused a bit on, early on we were getting beaten badly around the contest in the losses against both Geelong and North Melbourne. I think we were minus certainly 20 plus in the contest, and that just meant we were having to recover field position from a long way in our own half. And those numbers tonight, I think we were plus high 30s or 40 even in the contested possession, which just means you can actually get some field position and put some pressure on the opposition without having to rebound the whole time. So that was a major focus, and how we go about doing that was around the whole range of ground balls into aerial stuff. So the players have bought on into that, and they understand what's going to help us generate that field position. So as well as some of the things we've done off the ball in terms of our offensive and defensive structures.
What about Riley O'Brien tonight?
Yeah, another good one, didn't he, Riley? Yeah, he's growing week on week, and obviously they had with Nankervis out and then Soldo out, they had a young ruck group with Bolter and Chol in there. But I thought he was again significant, not only in his ruck work, but I thought some of his follow-up stuff as well. And it's good to see, because he's been on our list for a while and he's now got an opportunity. He's really taking it, and he knows he's got to keep performing, because Sam's sitting there playing really well in the sample. So it's a good battle at the moment, but Riley's performing really strongly, which is great.
Obviously, you'll probably get away during the bye and have a bit of time off, and same with the players. But
Yep.
do you also use this time to look to lock in some players for next year? I suppose Alex Keith has been one that's been talked
Yep.
about as a pretty high priority for the club.
Yeah, look, we've got a number of guys, like every club does. I mean, this time of the year we start coming into, the back end of the year is always the speculation around this and that, and that's going to be natural. Our list management group's, in conversation with all these guys about recontracting, and we're really hopeful that we can get some signatures on pages, pretty quickly. But it'll be what it'll be. So, certainly we'll pick up some of those conversations and try and get guys signed up. But you mentioned a guy like Alex. Well, clearly he's a priority for us. He's playing some good footy for us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.